Now at 11 on Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45, flooding in Forsyth. A burst pipe shut down social services when they plan to reopen for business.
Something has to change.
The Charlotte NAACP meets their response to the mistrial that made national headlines when an officer shot and killed an unarmed man. Plus, global leaders set their sights on the Tar Heel State, why they say North Carolina plays a critical role in international aid. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sharon Stone. Those stories are coming right up. First here at 11 o'clock, meteorologist Monty Montello is here with your Weather on the Ones forecast. We had a pretty humid start to the work week. The Forsyth Department of Social Services plans to reopen tomorrow after a pipe burst flooding the ground floor. It happened just after 8 this morning at the Highland Avenue location in Winston-Salem. Our Kristen Drummond updates us on the building and services affected. The DSS is expected to reopen at 8 a.m. tomorrow. The county says some services may be modified based on the available technology. The NAACP is calling it a journey for justice. It's a march that started in Selma, Alabama earlier this month. It will go through 5 states. For the next several days, those marchers will be in North Carolina. We met them out on Highway 401 in Hoke County today. Activists will travel 860 plus miles before reaching their final destination in Washington, D.C., many hoping their march will bring attention to social issues.
This march is marching around the mantra of our lives, our votes, our jobs, and our schools matter. We're talking about criminal justice issues, voting rights issues, school equity issues, as well as economic empowerment.
Marchers will be at the state capitol in Raleigh on Thursday, where they're expected to hold a large rally. The Charlotte chapter of the NAACP met today to figure out what they can do about the state's decision not to retry Officer Randall Carrick. Group members say they are disappointed the Attorney General dismissed charges against the Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officer Friday after his trial ended with a deadlocked jury. Carrick was charged with voluntary manslaughter for shooting and killing unarmed Jonathan Farrell in 2013. Arlita Pappas explains what the group plans to do moving forward. The jury was deadlocked in an 8-4 vote, with the majority saying Carrick was not guilty. Officer Carrick's defense attorneys say their client has said everything he wants to say about the case. They released a statement today in response to several requests for interviews with Carrick. It says, in part, West believes that he expressed his version of events while under oath during his trial. At present, he believes that there is simply nothing more to add and that both families need time to heal. He has expressed a sincere interest in beginning his life anew and concentrating his focus and attention on his family. North Carolina's impact on the world is expanding, but a growing coalition says it is concerned about that influence going forward. The U.S. Global Leadership Coalition is made up of 400 businesses and non-governmental groups. It's on a nationwide tour promoting U.S. foreign aid, which it says some people oppose. Andrew Sorensen tells us why the group is trying to spread its message in North Carolina.
The long and the short of it, offense wins games, defense wins championships.
I've heard that before. Hey, Mike, before you go, I'm just curious. I know you cover the Panthers quite a bit. Do you think this move will sufficiently fill the hole left by Kelvin? From our crews across the state, here's tonight's Carolina Minute. 8 people are facing charges after a major drug bust in the eastern part of the state. Officials from 4 counties, Nash, Edgecombe, Rocky Mount, and Tarboro, conducted a month-long investigation. It ended last week with a 28-hour operation, confiscated drugs, $350,000 in cash, a gun, and 3 vehicles. The former principal at a private school in Fayetteville faces felony charges of violating the North Carolina Sex Offender Registration Act. Joan Ellen Dayton took a voluntary leave of absence from Freedom Christian Academy earlier this year after a complaint that a registered sex offender had worked at the school. Dayton turned herself in earlier today. Support is coming in from around the country for the children of a Raleigh woman who was found dead in her jail cell. Officers found 26-year-old Dominique Worrell unresponsive, hanging in her cell last week at Southern Correctional Institution. These stories and more are available anytime on Time Warner Cable News. As we head into the most active months of hurricane season, boat owners along the coast should be prepared for a storm. Any boat can be severely damaged if not properly secured during a torrential storm. Though what was once Tropical Storm Erica has fallen apart, it was a good reminder for boat owners to make sure their vessel is safe when bad weather approaches. Experts say hauling a boat on a trailer to a safe location is always best. If you don't have a trailer, it's best to tie down your boat correctly. Cito Crystal Co. says you should check with your insurance policies about hurricane coverage for your boat. Some bad news for the state's film and television industry. Another production will end soon. Entertainment Weekly reports CBS pulled the plug on Under the Dome. The network decided not to order a fourth season of the show that is filmed in Wilmington. Over the weekend, that show sold a large portion of their set decorations. The announcement that Belk Incorporated is selling to an out-of-state equity firm concerns some North Carolina residents. Belk was founded in 1888 in Monroe, near Charlotte. It's been a staple in cities and towns across the state for generations. Some fear Belk stores in small towns will close.
We used to have a sense of dependency that we knew how our communities were working in that day, and we had an expectation that we knew how they would work tomorrow. And that's changing in every North Carolina town.
Experts say out-of-state control could change the fabric of life in the Tar Heel State. 8-year-old Audrey Whittam was honored by Guilford County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit for raising money to help support the agency's two newest canines, 5-month-old Hank and Lacey. Audrey went door to door asking her neighbors for help. She also held yard sales and other fundraisers.
I went ahead and sold lemonade, and gave away a few of my toys and sprayed, washed mailboxes.
Well, Audrey raised about $400. That money will be used for tracking harnesses, tracking leads, and other equipment for the K-9 unit. And stay with us. Monty has a final check of your forecast after the break.